Hello fellow island riders, glad to have you along for the adventure again today. Today we're picking it up just outside of Peaks, near Cardigan, and somewhere around Pools Corner. And we're headed out to Indian Bridge, just over the Morel River, to meet up with Brandon, and we're going to do some moto camping tonight. But before I head up there, I figure I'd touch base with you folks because it is that time of the month. It is the end of the month, which means it's channel update time. Time to go over a little bit of where we've been, reconnect our timeline a little bit, and talk about, what's coming down the pipe. Some new things that are happening on the channel, and, say hello to any new members of the ride group that have come in, because we've had a couple. So, I am going to get right to it because there's a couple other things. I want to show you something really cool too on this channel update, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to get saddled up here and head on down the road. I got to connect to the 321, I think. Yeah. So, let's get at her. Right on. Alright, so this is supposed to connect me onto a route that'll get me up to Indian Bridge. But in the meantime, as I mentioned, let's talk a little bit about what's coming down the pipe on the channel. So by now, you folks are probably just finishing up part 4 of the fly fishing moto camping trip that we did. I really had a fun time sharing that adventure with you folks. It was so fun. I know we didn't catch fish on the actual adventure, but if you check out the end of part 4, you'll see a little clip where I do catch a bit of a rainbow trout there for you on the fly. I've had a lot of luck. We've been having, better luck, I should say, catching fish on Prince Edward Island on the fly. So that's pretty much why I brought the rod out today. So this month of August that we're getting into, we're gonna dial it up a little bit. From here on out, we're pretty much dialing it up a little bit as far as the ride goes. Right away, we get back out onto the ATV trails, the Red Isle ATV trail. We try to solve the mystery of that trail, for me at least. I know there's a way it connects all the way together, so we go out for a bite to eat, and we try to solve that problem by doing that. After that, it's down to the South Shore to explore the coasts of Cape Bear, similar to what we did with Thunder Cove, where we went on that little adventure there. We're looking at lighthouses, driving along the coast. We see some beautiful stuff down there, Island Riders. I cannot wait to share that with you there. We're going to have a lot of drone footage. It's going to look really cool. Some new stuff on the channel. At the beginning of every month, we're going to start doing a short, and it's going to be basically the upcoming for the month. It gives you a little bit of quick clips on the videos that we're going to see, because we're filmed so far ahead now that we have the capability to do that. So might as well add a little bit of cool stuff to the channel when we can. So yeah, that'll be cool. That'll also be an opportunity for me to introduce you to some of the other content creators that make up the ride group. We've got a lot of people that actually film their adventures as subscribers on Island ADV, and I'm excited to introduce you to some of them. I watch their videos. I always get inspired to get out here, and I want to share that with you folks. So on those shorts, I'll introduce you to some of my friends who make videos on the internet, and I encourage you to check out what they're doing, the adventures that they go on. Very cool stuff there. So those are the two biggest things that I had to get across to you. But I did want to also mention that the ride group is growing a little bit. We've got a lot of new subscribers, new members of the ride group are riding along with us on our adventures here. And I just want to take a minute to shout out them and say, thanks for coming along. I really appreciate you joining the adventures. It's always great when we're riding together. That's one of the core principles of this channel, to spread the cool adventures we find on the other side of the red dirt roads here on Prince Edward Island in Canada. So I'd like to welcome you all, and here's a little bit about what we do at Island ADV. Now, existing members of the ride group who know all this and have an idea of how we do things, you guys can go right ahead and skip to a neat little segment that I have filmed here where I show you how to tie a gold beaded leech fly. That was the fly that I've had most success this summer on. So if you're interested in learning how to tie that fly, you can skip right ahead to that. But for those of you who are new to the channel, what we do on Island ADV is we release new videos every Monday. And these videos highlight the beauty of Prince Edward Island, the coasts, the woods, the trails, and we do it all here on the KLR 650, the Silver Fox. As a subscriber to Island ADV, I consider you a member of the ride group, so I consider you to be riding right there next to us. And I hope that, I could kind of virtually bring you to Prince Edward Island and share all this beauty with you. A couple other cool things. At the end of every month, we do a channel update video, so here we are. At the beginning of every month, which is something new that we just talked about, we do an upcoming video, and that'll stay up on top of the channel all month long to give you a couple clips on how that works, and then how the videos for the month are going to shake out. So, if you are new here, once again, I'm very glad to have you here. Glad to have you all as new members to the ride group, and I encourage you all to check out the back catalog of Island ADV Adventures. For now, I'm going to get us to Indian Bridge, to Morel River, so we can meet up with Brandon, so we can do some moto camping. And if you'd like to check out some cool fly tying stuff, you can check that out now. We'll go back to the garage and I'll show you that. It's pretty interesting stuff. And maybe after that we'll check in at Indian Bridge. All right, so we are back into the garage a little bit here. Yeah, so since we just finished up our fly fishing trip, I figured it would be a good idea to kind of give you the scoop on the kind of fly that was working for me. And I figured I'd show you how to tie it as well. This is a little bit of fine-tuning type stuff. It takes a little bit of fine motor skills. So coffee, I don't know if that's going to help or hurt things, but I am enjoying a really awesome coffee lately, thanks to my buddy Andy at Motos, Cades, and Coffee. Andy lives out in the States, so that's United States Andy. I have a lot of Andy friends lately. I have Charlottetown Andy, I have Salisbury Andy, and there's also United States Andy, who sent me this awesome coffee here. And it is so good. Thank you so much for this. I know I gave you a shout out and I just I said thanks over Instagram, and not everybody sees Instagram. So thank you so much, Andy, for this. This coffee is just really, really awesome. It's nice, bold, and very, very good. Taste of Vader. Also, I'll put a link in the description to Andy's channels. Definitely give that a look. He just got himself a brand new Pan America, so he's been riding around on that. So if you've had any questions about how the Pan America rides, head over to his channel, check it out. He's got a lot of in-depth review going on for that. It's very good. All cool stuff on his channel. Anyway, let's get to the fly. So what we've got here is a gold beaded leech. So this is one I just tied a little while ago. It's kind of small, so I'll bring it up. Hopefully it focuses in. But yeah, it's a really great fly. This has been catching me fish lately. I know we didn't catch any fish on the trip, but at the end of that video, if you didn't watch, you would have seen me catch a fish, and I caught it on this one. Anyway, it's been working great for you, so let's go over really quickly how to tie this guy up. So what do we need to do this? Well, there's a lot of tools that you need to have when you start tying flies and things, and you can go and buy starter kits, or you can go to a fly fishing shop and they can get you set up with everything you need. It's so fun. It's like model building for fishing. I've said it before. But we have our vise here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to select our hook. So we want to stream it through the water, which means we're going to use a streamer hook. Just put this on a set of pliers so you can kind of see what we're looking at there. There you go. So it's a nice straight shafted hook, and that's what we want for that. So we're going to prime that, get it up onto the vise, tighten it down. We're going to do the test. What's the test? Makes a little dunk noise. That means it's holding into place. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our bobbin. We're going to use a black thread as our base thread. So this is going to be the thing that secures stuff onto the hook. Some other materials that we're going to use this crystal flash right here. That's the thing that you see on the end. We're going to use a 3 or 4, I guess. This is a 4 wound kind of a nylon thread. So this is stuff that you can use to build up body. You'll see how we build the body up of this a little bit there. We're going to use a little bit of lead weight. So this is just like a little bit of a It's almost like wire, but it's very pliable. See, check this out, like that. That's gonna give us a little tiny bit of weight, you know, maybe that'll be our little secret. And we have our crystal dubbing here. This is just, you know, like lint, almost like pocket lint with crystalness on it. Makes it a little flashy. I think that is everything that I want. It's a pretty basic, oh yeah, we need a bead. We actually have to prime this hook with a bead first. And there we go. Now we have this bead on here. Just kind of moves back and forth, but it's not intention. The intention is just for it to stay up to the front there. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie on my base thread here. So this is, like I said, this is thread that's just gonna secure things to things. And with fly tying, it's a lot of strategy, a little bit of strategy in there. So you want to tie things on so that once you have them tied on, I think that'll be as good as I want to go. So that you kind of want to tie things on first in like a sort of a strategic order, so that you can get things, you know, wrapped around the shaft of the hook. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to tie on first a little bit of that wire. Don't need too much at all. Couple wraps. And maybe we'll go front-wise on this one. Like that, yeah. I feel a little bit better about that. We'll snug it up. All right, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna put some crystal flash and buck hair on the back of this. Yeah, the other material is buck hair, so a little black stuff like that, just from a deer. So I'm prepared a little bit here, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull out the long ends and try to get some sort of consistency. This is a messy job, by the way. You just throw, you know, maybe people do this in a more cleaner fashion, but basically what I want is I want to have like almost a little bit of consistency. I don't want to use like this edge because this is cut, right? This is cut by like a pair of scissors. I want to use this nice natural end like this. So let's get rid of some more of these here. Yeah, that's looking good. Now I'm going to add some crystal flash. Bam. Cut some off. Now, this is hard to see. Maybe over the black you can see a little bit better, but so once I get them together, I'm going to kind of twist it together like this, and then it just kind of becomes one like that. And then I have this one whole bundle of stuff that I can just attach to the back. Give it a few securing wraps. That's all you need to do. And ta-da! Doesn't look like much now, does it? That's the thing with time flies. It's really neat to see them evolve as you tie them. Take all this extra bit and yoink it out of there. So we're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna do it pretty even. Nice even wraps like that. And it's really hard to see, I know. If I zoom in on this, it gets a little crazy. Hopefully this isn't too out of focus. Just like that. We want to have a pretty even profile while we're so early into the fly here, because the other material, like this little nylon wrap material here, is going to be the stuff that really defines the body profile of this creature that we're trying to mimic. Next, after we do that, I'm going to go through and I'm going to use this just to kind of secure it on a little bit up there. And we'll come back to the tail again, just like that. Next thing we want to do is we want to start tying on this business here. So this is again going to be a situation where I loop this on the back and I get it ready to be tied on. So I'm going to give this a few securing wraps like that, tighten it on down. You might be asking, hey, why don't you put this stuff in the bobbin? This thing that's dangling is the bobbin. Why don't you do that? Well, it's just a pain in the butt to put that stuff in there. So I'm going to tie this up to the front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this right now, just because there's too much stuff going on, so I don't want to screw it up too much. So I'm going to use my whip finisher tool. This is a little tool you use to make a knot at the end whenever you want to finish off a thread. 1, 2, and we're done. Now I can cut this off, get out of there, cut this off, and know that that stuff that I just tied on won't come loose. We'll put you over here for now, and we'll drink coffee. All right, so let's get this nylon thread on and start really making the body of the fly. So we're just gonna wrap it up really cool. And you see it looks gross. I mean, you can fix that by spinning this up a little bit. Give it a couple turns like that. But you don't want to do it too much because you want to have some body character on this. So you can see how as I'm wrapping her here, what I'm doing is I started out with some quick wraps at the end, and I'll trim this business here. Or maybe I'll leave it. Who knows? Looks kind of cool. But I'm using more wraps on top of each other as I get to the front. And the reason I'm doing that, maybe you can see it right now, is I'm starting to develop this like bit of a higher end profile near the end of the bead. So now I'm done with that. I'm actually going to whip finish this itself. Like that. There. Whoa. Whip finish. Just going to do one because I got a lot of other stuff I'm going to tie up there. Tighten her off. Give it a snip. So you can start to see the profile coming together now. Small at the bottom, heavy on the top. Let's get that out of there if we can. Trim it down. Oh, these things are starting to creep up on the bead. I'm just going to push it off the bead a little bit with my fingernail. There we go. Next, we're going to bring the old securing line back in. Like that. Trim that off. And what we'll do now is we're going to add our crystal dubbing. So with dubbing, basically all you do, like I said, it kind of feels like pocket lint. You just grab a bunch like this, maybe thin it out a bit there, take some away, and then you just rub it between your finger, your index finger and your thumb like that. You know, because you want to mix it together into something that you can wrap. Cool, eh? So we'll do just that. There we go. Don't need a lot of this stuff. Just enough to make the job work. Yeah, there we go. Secure that down. Pow, pow. And we'll cut off the excess. The excess. The excess. And there we go. Again, it's just a little bit. You know, that's all you need. Push it off the bead a little bit. And now we really got something going. Now we're looking like a gold beaded leech. We've got our body built up with the nylon. We have our crystal flash here and our buck here on the back, nice and natural looking. We got our flash dubbing on the front, and we got our bead that's now pushed all the way to the eyelet because of all this material that's pushing against it. So I think we're almost done here. Let's get rid of this securing line, maybe give it another run here. 1, 2, and then we'll do a good whip finish. And I'm gonna do a whip finish behind the bead, not in front of it. So I'm gonna go like that, right around 1, 2, 3 times for good luck. Pull it out, tighten it up, and away it comes. And we're looking like we got a fly going here, folks. So the next thing that we're gonna use this little probe here thing, and we're gonna tease some stuff out of it. Now, this nylon material that we put on is really good, but you can just kind of pick it apart a bit. And you can do this without fear of it coming apart. And the reason I want these threads to come out is I want to promote that natural look. You know, nature doesn't work in straight lines every time. It's more apt to be curves and wildness. So we want to have that wildness kind of on display. We gotta be careful in the back here though. Dubbing there, that's looking pretty shaggy now. I like it. Last step, we're gonna add a little bit of lacquer to the front of the bead here, just behind it. So what we'll use for that, well, actually, you know what? I'm out of lacquer. I haven't been tying too many flies. Like I mentioned in our series that we just went over, I haven't been fishing a lot because I just haven't had a lot of success in fishing. So, I'm gonna use what I have, which is pretty much lacquer. I mean, this is black Gundam paint. So it'll do the job. And you don't want a lot of it anyway. So I'm just gonna tap it in there and get rid of that extra stuff. Boop. Like that, clean up that bead. There we go. You don't need too much. Just like that. And when you set this, when you put a little bit on this and you set it on there, it's kind of absorbed by the thread. Anyway, that is our gold beaded leech. We now have 2 of them. One for when we catch a fish and lose it, and this one here now too. I think it looks pretty good. I think it does the job. So anyway, the reason I'm tying these is because me and Brandon are headed out moto camping tonight, so I'm gonna go pack the bike up and make sure all my batteries are charged so I can bring you folks along for the ride. And I think what we'll do is we'll carry this on the road. Sounds good. All right, we'll see you back out there. Yeah, I like that. Well, that's a really good one. Well, we made it, Island Riders. We're here at Indian Bridge. Maybe change the name of this place. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna call it what it is, but I don't have to like it. Looks like we got some kayakers making out for a good day. Oh my God, you see the size of that fish that just jumped? Oh my God, right in between them. Well, looks like we're fishing here a little bit while we wait for Brandon. Anyway, oh my God, I'm losing it. I'm getting too excited here. Once again, I hope you enjoyed that little fly tying segment. That was fun for me to do, and I hope you enjoy the fly fishing. I'm going to enjoy the fly fishing here really shortly. But in the meantime, if you're having an adventure, enjoy that adventure. And if you're riding, ride safe. And until the next adventure that we go on together, take care, fellow Island Riders.